been an announcement that former WWE diva and she'd been just kind of getting back on the independent scene. Ashley Massaro has passed away. This is
What?
breaking. This is breaking news that's just happening right now. So I just wanted to
Saw
announce
her at
that.
WrestleCon, dude.
Was she at WrestleCon?
Yeah, we saw her. I saw
Yeah.
her at WrestleCon. Maybe you guys didn't see her, but I saw her at WrestleCon.
Yeah, I did. See, yeah,
I'm looking it up, and I don't. There's no announcement on how she died yet, but she passed away unfortunately today, guys. So maybe we give our thoughts on Ashley, since this will be the last time we talk about her, more than likely, you know.
I didn't really.
Sorry to change up the time. I just wanted to announce that.
That took me for a loop.
Yeah.
That and the Ric Flair news today.
Yeah.
Which is false, fake news. As far as the Ashley, how do you say her last name again?
Massaro.
That's just sad, man. I don't know what's going on in professional wrestling where all these wrestlers are passing away so early. I mean, she was super young. How old was she, Nick?
39.
Dude, she didn't even hit 40 yet. You know, Mickie James I don't know how old Mickie James is, but Mickie James is around that age and she's wrestling a full-time schedule and she's a mom, you know, and she has a great quality of life still. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was a drug situation or alcohol-related situation. I don't want to talk bad about the dead, especially when they just recently passed away, man. But we really need to figure out what's going on in professional wrestling with these wrestlers dying so fast. It's becoming an epidemic. It has become an epidemic. And when, as fans, do we get involved and we say, hey, look, we appreciate everything you guys are doing, but you guys need to come together and find some type of way to ensure that you guys are taking care of yourselves. And when do the wrestlers step up and say and demand from these companies, whether it's WWE, even in AEW, which we'll talk about later, a Ring of Honor, and Impact Wrestling, where they say, hey, look, we are putting our bodies on the line for the present, but in the future, we're going to need you guys to take care of us because this situation is getting ridiculous. I don't
we don't want to speculate though, because we don't know, we don't know the circumstances of her death yet. So
I'm not trying to speculate, but
it's
ridiculous how many people in wrestling is dying now. It's becoming too frequent.
For how small of a group of people it is too. It definitely isn't good. I'll tell you this too. She sent out a tweet thanking fans for fan mail less than 24 hours ago too. So I wish I could say more, and maybe by the end of this podcast I can update it if it's something legitimate that I can actually put out, because I'm a big guy. I there's certain sources I don't listen to, and there's I try to get the facts, especially with something like this we're breaking news here on the podcast. And we're not live, obviously, and this will be presented tomorrow, and most people know about this too. But that just sucks. I mean, I remember her most. She was kind of one of the first divas I can really remember because I started watching in 2005, and so she started, I believe, in 2006, 2007. And I remember her being in the Mickie James Trish Stratus storyline, going into WrestleMania 22, and she was on Diva Search, and she was featured, I believe it was in Playboy or one of the magazines too, and that was a big deal.
They did Matt Hardy at one point too.
Yeah, true. No, she was involved in the rest. She was trying to make a comeback. She kind of semi-retired in 2008, and she was just kind of getting back into wrestling in 2017. That's probably why we saw her at WrestleCon too. But it just sucks. I want to let you guys know that before we kind of moved on. Or we got a little maybe insensitive about this kind of stuff on the podcast, and just just in case, I just want to let you guys know that. What's that?
That dampers my mood.
No, that's for sure. And I was actually, I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off on doing something I was gonna do on the podcast because of this too. A little bit later in the show. But yeah. So Eric, do you have anything to say about Ashley?
Yeah, it's very. It's still early to speculate, like we said. But that tweet, it's kind of telling me, and I don't want to jump on the conclusion, but maybe she may have had some personal problems if she hasn't been seen that much. It's just coming to the point where I really don't know what's going on with some of these wrestlers. I dying young, and until we get the facts straight, until we get everything sealed, like actually see what the hell's going on. I just hope, like, my condolences are to the families, to her parents, her relatives, everybody out there who has been close to Ashley, close friends. Condolences to them. Just hope that whatever breaks out, just hope that's it's a reliable source, and it's just hopefully we get to see what happened. I just hope that people may see some of this, maybe learn from this experience, because it also happens in music too. Sometimes these musicians also put out thanking fans, like a tweet. In the world of hip hop, in the world of hard rock, they do that all the time. But sometimes, like, these things, when these things happen, it's kind of easy to point fingers, or easy to look at, oh, she may have had personal problems or suicide or whatever. But I don't want to jump on the conclusion, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, rest in peace, Ashley Massaro.
Yeah, just a couple. I mean, the one detail I can see from this is that she, and again, by the time this podcast comes out, we know that most of you guys will probably know what has happened. But for what we know so far, is a rescue call at 5:20 this morning that was called. So I don't know. That you could speculate, and kind of put your opinion on whatever you want with just based on knowing that. But and the police were told there was no foul play committed as well. So, yeah, it just sucks. I mean, like you're saying, RKJ, man, it's just, and like you were saying, Eric, too, as well. For such a small group of people in the professional wrestling business, there is a lot in the last 10, 15 years that have passed away. And even before that, too, it really does suck.
And there, in the next 5 years, there may not be another type of WrestleCon, because all these superstars could be gone or could be on their last legs. I mean, we've seen so many legends pass away. I mean, even today I was freaked out, as I saw that Ric Flair was allegedly rushed to the hospital. I was freaked out. I was like, if Ric Flair dies, and all we got left really is Hulk Hogan. And how many more years is he gonna go? I mean, he's walking slow every day. It's just a situation for me where it's like, if you're a wrestler in today's industry, you don't need to be working 300 days a year. If you can find a way to have a schedule that can pay you money, that can ensure a good quality of life, and maybe you have to work half of that time, and you can work half of that time, and maybe you get another job, or maybe you're working somewhere else, or you have some type of profession or trade. At Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, they announced a guy who was there who became a doctor. You know what I'm saying? So there are other things outside of wrestling. You can still pursue what you want to pursue, but still have a job on the side to pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm doing. So at the end of the day, these wrestlers, you don't have to go balls to the walls all the time. You can just, sometimes it's okay to take a break, and if they're handing that contract to you and it's saying they're demanding you to have these amounts of dates, and even though you're an independent contractor per se, they're saying you have to show up to this, you have to do this, or else don't sign it. It's that simple, because we're seeing the consequences of it right now with these wrestlers dying.
Well, yeah, but RKJ, man, what are you saying though, that no wrestlers should wrestle? I mean, because you have to, if you had to, it's like you're joining. It's like saying you're signing with an NFL team and you don't want to hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get, it's more of the responsibility of, I feel like WWE and I'm forgetting the guy's name that did this on HBO. John Oliver kind of brought up to light a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, about how it should be the wrestling companies that kind of help their players out a lot, like the NFL is, I believe, starting to now with some of their players with the concussions and all that stuff, and I believe the NHL does it too. And wrestling still doesn't do it, at least, or wasn't doing it for a while. So yeah, that just, sucks. We were kind of, we're excited about, talking about, there's a lot of stuff that we want to talk about on this podcast, but I just wanted to bring this up, and we can end it right now before we kind of get somber and we don't get excited about the next couple topics and stuff like that.
I was ready to go in about All Elite. But yeah, basically what I'm saying, Nick, is like, as a wrestler, you have the opportunity to kind of pick your dates originally. Um, so if a company is coming to you and saying, "Hey, we want you to work 300 days a year," or something like that, or some type of crazy schedule, and you know your body physically can't take it, then you don't need to put yourself through that pain, because then, we see it now. These wrestlers have to compensate by going to drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. So that's basically what I'm trying to say here. You don't need to, take this schedule if you don't need it and you know your body can't handle it.
I get what you, no, I understand what you're saying, and we don't need to argue about that either, because I think we could we'll probably end up agreeing at the end anyway. So, but yeah, so rest in peace, Ashley Massaro. It sucks. She was kind of one of the originals. I have a lot of the video. We were just, I think, talking about a couple video games today where we know she is featured. So that blows. Another one, unfortunately, is gone from us, and I'm sure the WWE will do something nice, and maybe even All Elite Wrestling will do something nice for this next weekend or week down. So and we don't know the circumstances yet, but it sucks. Ashley Massaro has passed away at age 39.